Dollar selling dominated Friday's session, pushing gold above 4,500 and fueling moves across Forex, metals, indices, and crypto. Stay to the end, because oil is the biggest mover on the board today. The pair wrapped Friday's session with the trend leaning firmly lower, price structure continuing to favor an extension toward lower levels, as the broader dollar softness kept sellers in control. Momentum stayed consistent to the downside through the close, suggesting the path of least resistance remains pointed lower while this structure holds. McDonald's closed Friday with the trend maintaining a strong bearish structure, and the price action through the session did little to challenge that disposition. The pattern of lower prints held, keeping the probability skewed toward a continuation at lower levels as long as current structure remains intact. Silver extended its bullish lean through Friday's session, with the softer dollar environment providing a clear tailwind for the metal alongside gold. The trend structure stayed oriented toward higher levels, and price action throughout the day supported the case for further extension higher while that backdrop persists. Bitcoin held a bullish trend through Friday's session, with price action consolidating in a manner consistent with a market that leans toward higher levels on the next directional move. The structure continues to favor the upside, and momentum into the close kept that probability intact. NVDA closed Friday with the trend oriented higher, price action through the session maintaining the broader bullish structure that has defined recent trade. The path of least resistance stays pointed toward higher levels, with no meaningful disruption to that structure observed through today's close. Walmart finished Friday with the trend carrying a bearish lean, and price action through the session remained consistent with a market more inclined to explore lower levels than to recover. The structure kept the probability skewed lower, and the close did not suggest any meaningful change to that disposition. The Dow navigated Friday's session against a backdrop of mild bearish trend structure, though the probable path points toward higher levels from current positioning, suggesting the market may be in a corrective phase rather than a sustained breakdown. The close leaves the setup leaning toward a recovery toward higher levels if structure shifts. The dollar slid alongside Treasury yields through the final session of the week, with gold catching a clear bid as that pressure held. Iran deal uncertainty kept Hormuz restrictions in place, shaking energy markets. The one event to watch on today's calendar was President Trump speaking. Oil was the standout mover of the session, with a strong bullish trend driving price action sharply higher as the collapse of the Iran deal and ongoing Hormuz restrictions removed supply-side relief from the market. The trend structure is the strongest on today's board, and the path of least resistance stays firmly oriented toward higher levels. That wraps Friday's evening session for ForexBullion. If this breakdown added value, subscribe so the next edition lands the moment it publishes. And the weekend wrap checks whether oil holds those elevated levels into Monday's open. This is general market information for educational purposes only, not financial advice.